Commission on Teacher and
This
Administrator.
meeting is being recorded and or transcribed.
She joined us a little late. David Martin, Chair of the Commission on Teacher Administration, Education, Certification, and Licensure and Development Commission, present at the Mississippi Department of Education, Central High School, 4th floor, boardroom 359 Northwest Street, Jackson, Mississippi, 39201. Regular meeting of the commission is being held today, Friday, May 6, 2022, at 10 a.m. pursuant to Mississippi Code annotated 25-41-5, with some commission members present via teleconference. Notice of this meeting, which included date, time, place, and purpose of the meeting, and identified the location, was made available to the public and has been posted. Audio recordings being made of this meeting and minutes of this meeting will be recorded. Agenda item 1, call to order. This meeting is called to order at 10 a.m. Friday, May 6, 2022. We'll start with establishment of a quorum. As I call your names, commission members, please state the location of your presence for this meeting. James Creel.
Present, Jackson, Mississippi, 4th floor boardroom.
Sir. Rebecca Gray.
Present, Aisha, Mississippi.
William Hamilton.
Present, Oxford, Mississippi.
Thank you, sir. Mary Hill Taylor.
Present, Jackson, Mississippi, 4th floor boardroom.
Thank you, ma'am. John Hubbard. Excuse me, Howard. Got off too loud. Kim Hubbard.
Present, Jackson, Mississippi.
Dr. Teresa J. Rowe. Dr. J. Rowe. Rilla Jones.
Present, Corinth, Mississippi.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Bernell Kelly.
Present, Gulfport, Mississippi.
Thank you. Dr. Teresa Poole. Ms. Poole, you're on mute.
Dr. Poole, are you there? There's J. Rowe.
J. Rowe. All right, we'll come back to her. Dr. Shelley Simmons.
Present, Gulfport, Mississippi.
Thank you. Ms. Etta Taplin. Taplin. I think you're on mute, Ms. Taplin.
I think we can hear you now, Ms. Chapman. I'm sorry, Ms. Taplin.
Okay. Present, Ruth, Mississippi.
Good deal. Gotcha. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
She can't hear us.
J. Rowe.
Good idea. Thank you. Dr. J. Rowe, what's your location?
You're on mute, Dr. J. Rowe.
Okay, sorry. Teresa J. Rose, Starkville, Mississippi.
There we go. Thank you, ma'am.
Poole just joined.
Poole, you just joined. Dr. Poole, would you give us your location, please?
Hattiesburg.
Dr. Poole, can you hear us? I think she's about to text you.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
She's having a little technical difficulty. All right, a quorum of the commission is present at the location stated for conducting a meeting through teleconference means. Appreciate everybody joining us today. Move on to agenda item number 3, approval of minutes from the March 4th, 2022 meeting of the Commission on Teacher and Administrator Education, Certification, and Licensure and Development. Entertain a motion for approval, and please identify yourself for the record.
Motion to approve, Cam Hubbard.
Ms. Hubbard, we'll need a second.
Second, Teresa J. Rose.
Thank you, ma'am. All right. Any discussion? If you have anything, please identify yourself for the record. No discussion on those minutes. All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those of you on video conference, make sure to identify yourself, raise your hand. Thank you. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Agenda item 4, approval of the hearing subcommittee minutes from March 4th, 2022. Subcommittee members present for that date were William Hamilton, Mary Hill Taylor, and Etta Taplin. Entertain a motion for approval. Please identify yourself for the record.
Make a motion for
Make a
approval.
motion to approve. William Hamilton.
Thank you, sir. We'll need a second.
Second, Mary Hill Taylor.
Thank you, ma'am. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Yes, sir.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item 5, approval of hearing subcommittee minutes from March 24th, 2022. Subcommittee members present for that one were Rebecca Gray, Kim Hubbard, and Teresa Poole.
Yes, sir.
Entertain a motion for approval. Please identify yourself for the record.
Motion for.
Motion for approval, Rebecca Gray.
Second, Kim Hubbard.
Thank you, ladies. All right, any discussion? All right. All those in favor, vote aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of hearing subcommittee minutes from April 14th, 2022. Subcommittee members present for that hearing, Jamie Creel, William Hamilton, and Mary Hill Taylor. Entertain a motion for approval. Please identify yourself for the record.
Make a motion to approve, Mary Hill Taylor.
Thank you, ma'am. Need a second?
Second. Jamie Creel.
Mr. Creel, thank you, sir. Any discussion from those minutes? All those in favor, please vote aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Move on to item agenda 7, approval of hearing subcommittee minutes from April 28th, 2022. Subcommittee members present for that were Rebecca Gray, David Martin, and Etta Taplin. Entertain a motion for approval. Please identify yourself.
Motion for approval, Rebecca Gray.
Thank you, ma'am. Need a second?
Second, Etta Taplin. Second, Etta Taplin.
Gotcha. Thank you, ma'am. Any discussion? All those in favor, vote aye.
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 Thank you. Any opposed? Motion carries. Appreciate it. All right, agenda item number 8, adoption of agenda. Entertain a motion for approval. Please identify yourself for the record.
Motion to approve, Kim Hubbard.
Thank you, ma'am. Need a second?
Second, Noah Jones.
Thank you, ma'am. All those in favor, please vote aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, agenda approved as is. All right, moving on to item number 9, updates from Dr. Corey Murphy.
Thank you, Chairman Martin. I don't have any formal updates. I do want to take a moment to thank Mrs. Rilla Jones for her many years of service as a member of Mississippi's educator workforce and for serving as a dedicated member over the past few years as a member of the Licensure Commission. This will be her last meeting. She intends to retire on June 30th of this year. And so, Mrs. Jones, we honor and appreciate you, and we wish you excellent health and much joy in your retirement. And so, thank you again for your service, and I'll turn it back over to you, Chairman Martin.
Thank you. Congratulations, Ms. Jones, well deserved. All right, moving on
Thank you
to
very much.
Agenda item number 10, approval to begin the Administrative Procedures Act process to revise certain criteria for career pathway licensure option 954, information technology, 964, instrumentation, and 967, collision repair technician. Is that Ms. Clemens?
Clemens, yes.
With us this
Clemens, that's
morning? We'll entertain a motion for approval, a motion to take under advisement. Please identify yourself for the record. Oh, I'm sorry.
Motion for approval, Etta Kaplan.
I'm sorry. I didn't give you a chance to say
That's
what
okay.
that
I mean,
was.
I was just going to walk through the three changes that we
Yes, ma'am.
had, Chairman. Good morning, Chairman and members of the commission. The Office of Career and Technical Education is bringing forth three minor revisions that we'd like to make. First, endorsement 954, Career Pathway Information Technology. We're proposing to add an assessment or two assessments to that licensure piece, the Test Out IT Fundamentals Pro and the Test Out Network Pro. That will just give teachers an opportunity to get into the field and obtain that license. So we want to add those, and they are aligned with the curriculum, so it would fit. Endorsement 964, Career Pathway Instrumentation. We're requesting to remove the reference to a performance requirement on the NCCER instrumentation assessment because that does not exist any longer. So we want to remove that so that our records are clear. And then finally, endorsement 967, Career Pathway Collision Repair Technician. This will be effective school year 22-23. We want to offer a new curriculum. We're offering a new curriculum during the 22-23 school year that's Career Pathway Collision Repair Technician. So the new assessment to be added is non-structural analysis and damage repair, which is an AEC test B3 or the ICAR equivalent. This assessment does align with the curriculum that's coming out in 22-23, and we're asking that this new endorsement be effective after July 1, 2022.
All right, thank you for that summary. Any questions or comments on that one?
I had a question. Will there be a cost to the additional assessment for, for the collision repair technician? Is there a cost to that additional assessment?
Yes, there will be.
Okay, okay.
Anything else? All right. Got a little ahead of myself a minute ago. So now we'll entertain a motion for approval or a motion to take under advisement. Please identify yourself for the record.
Motion to approve, Etta Kaplan.
Thank you, ma'am.
Second, Mary Hill Taylor.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor, vote aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Moving on, agenda item number 11, approval of educator preparation programs as recommended by the Division of Educator Preparation. Dr. Burson, you have a summary for us?
I sure do. Thank you, Chairman Martin. Good morning, and good morning to the commission members. Dr. Murphy, it's good to see you all this morning. Bringing forth today two EPPs asking for your approval to some modifications of programs. The first is Belhaven University. They're seeking to modify their existing curriculum and instruction master's degree. They're, as in the backup material you can see, they're requesting the removal of 5 courses and adding 5 courses. The purpose of this is to ensure that they can create a pathway for teaching English to speakers of other languages. So oh yes it is, I saw it is good out there. That is, it's needed in our state, and this is something that we've requested at the MDE. We need more teachers of English learners, and so we see this as a positive modification at Belhaven, and we come to you today to ask for your approval.
Oh, just before we go any further, we were just having a slight discussion there. So, Dr. J-Rowe, probably good for you to excuse yourself. We do these together, both these EPPs. And with your employment at Mississippi State, probably good for you to step out for that one, and then we can have Dr. Burson text you and let you know that we're back in.
Did you want to take a vote on the Belhaven one first?
I think we've got them listed under the same item.
Okay, then we'll
Yeah,
move
so that's the
forward
reason
with
we're saying
the
she may need to
second
step out
item
for that one.
is from Mississippi State University's College of Human Sciences. And this request is to remove certain courses and change the number of electives from 1 to 2 and adds others to the concentration and the core. This was vetted through our Office of Career and Technical Education, and again, we ask for your approval of this modification.
Any questions for Dr. Burson on either of those?
I do have a question, Dr. Burson, about, as you mentioned, the course that would be available to those teachers that are trying to go maybe and teach English as a second language and teach those learners. Would this course or a similar course, do you know, be available at Belhaven or other universities for undergraduate students?
At this point, I'm not quite sure, but I can investigate that for you. Again, this is, as they modify this master's degree program, it will ensure these candidates who complete this curriculum instruction master's will receive the certification in TESOL.
Okay.
And so they do have a supplemental endorsement in teaching to the second language as well, but this would be embedded within this master's. So when they finish the program, they would have this as well.
Great. That's a great addition.
Good, thank you.
Probably need a little more universities to do more of the same.
Several of our universities do have supplemental
Okay, good.
endorsements. And so we've been working with our folks here in the program offices at MDE to ensure that we have programmatically what we need. And so those endorsements will probably be coming to you with some modifications in the near future, as we have, as you've seen, the work that we've been doing around program review and looking at our initial licensure programs and how we've tried to strengthen those and ensure continuity across all institutions. While we don't want to make them cookie cutter programs, we do want certain consistency across all programs. And one area of work that we'll be digging into in the near future will be our supplemental endorsements, because right now some of those vary greatly between our institutions, and we want to ensure that we have consistency again and coherence.
And Dr. Burson, if I may add, a few years ago, you guys actually voted for a recommendation to the State Board of Education to add the praxis test option for adding that endorsement. So that's open to, any individual who actually holds a standard license as well.
Any other questions? All right. Then we'll entertain a motion for approval or a motion to take under advisement. Please identify yourself for the record.
Motion for approval, Jamie Creel.
Sir, we'll need a second.
Second, Mary Hill Taylor.
Ma'am. Any further discussion? All right. All those in favor, please vote aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Can rejoin now.
So Ms. J-Rowe can rejoin us. All right, moving on to item number 12. Discussion of proposed education preparedness program that would lead to a supplemental endorsement in the area of teacher leadership. And Dr. Burson, you have a summary for us?
I sure do. Thank you again. So the previous two items we brought to you for approval. As I've mentioned before, prior to bringing items to you, commissioners, we have these vetted internally and externally. And with that, we bring forth to you recommendations. With this particular item, we're bringing it to you for discussion and whatever you choose to make of it. But this is from Mississippi State's University of Research Curriculum, their research curriculum unit at Mississippi State. They are seeking to add the supplemental endorsement of teacher leadership, which is endorsement code 481. by implementing this year-long 100-hour face-to-face professional development. Their Teach You University is the program that they've had in existence for a while. Currently, we have 3 universities that offer the teacher leadership endorsement for 481. Two of those are strictly programs, degree programs at the master's and specialist level. The third institution has it embedded within their specialist in instructional leadership. So we want to bring this to you with the caveat that in addition to candidates completing this 100 hours of PD, that they would also have to be, candidates would have to hold a valid Class AA license with a minimum of 3 years of full-time teaching experience as the teacher of record. Again, bringing this to you for your discussion, or if you want to take it under advisement, however, but those 2 caveats would be what we would recommend if this is to be approved, given it would lead to teacher leadership. We feel as though we would need to ensure that any candidate that participated in this professional learning would have adequate years of experience to make themselves a teacher leader.
So this is like a PD program for them, and so where do you see this ending up? So what jobs would they be interested in?
Again, this would just be an endorsement added to an existing valid 5-year renewable license. At this point, we do not differentiate in our licensure structure a place for teacher leadership. However, I think we've mentioned and I've shared with you some recommendations that were made from the governor's task force, that SREB work that we did for about 18 months. A part of that, part of those recommendations is that we would differentiate in our licensure structure for just teachers and then master teachers or lead teachers, that there would be some differentiation. And so within that scope, I'm trying to get you to think kind of forward here. If and when we do begin to identify in the licensure structure teacher leaders, please know that we have 3 degree programs at the master's and specialist level that lead to 481. This would also lead to 481.
Me personally, I think it needs to be longer than 3 years experience.
Okay?
You know, I can't see, when you have a 3-year teacher, the experiences, you know, just aren't there. As far, you know, I would start at 5, me personally. I just don't think, you know, a 3-year educator will have the experiences and you know, that one more tenured would. That would be my concerns when you're looking at coexisting with going through other programs to get it versus this route.
It makes excellent sense, and thank you. That's why I wanted this item to be for discussion for this commission.
I like that particular suggestion. I also like the fact that it requires a AA license.
Good.
Before they can consider this pathway. I would want to kind of look more at what all is involved, maybe what school districts would be offering this professional development, or is it connected to the RCU?
It is any teacher.
Okay.
This is any teacher who holds whatever criteria we do establish would be able to participate in this 100 hours and earn this 481 endorsement, which would be an endorsement on the certificate, on the license that says teacher leader.
And is only administered by the RCU.
Okay. It's interesting that this particular thing has been brought up because this is something I've personally been looking into to add this endorsement to my license. So that's why I'm kind of really paying good attention to it. And then another question, and this may not have anything to do with our commission, but you wonder, would that offer, you know, some type of stipend or pay, you know, that kind of thing?
And this gets us back to some of the recommendations with the governor's task force that we've been working with. We are very excited, and I know you all are, about the teacher pay raise this year. We also know that our legislature supports greatly National Board Certified Teachers to the extent of $6,000 and $10,000 if you're in a critical needs area, which we think is wonderful. We do see the need for us to fulfill the recommendations in the task force to expand our licensure structure so that we do identify these places. Unfortunately, we don't get to set salaries.
Right.
So we would hope that in doing so, we can go back to the legislature, looking at the statutory authority around mentoring that we have already. And in the past, when that was enacted fully, there was a $1,000 stipend paid to those mentor teachers. We hope to, through this licensure structure, and when we identify these teachers, to be able then to pull data to determine how effective teacher leaders actually are and what that return on investment is to our legislature. And I think that if we can make the case, and I'm sure that we probably can, to say, yes, in fact, teacher leaders make a difference, and hopefully go back and ask for that stipend. If I understand correctly, districts have the capacity to provide supplements to teachers. So, again, hopefully, if this is in the structure as we move forward and teacher leaders are identified, we may be able to find a way to compensate them.
Dr. Burson, what does the 100 hours look like?
It is, here we have, and I don't have it in front of me, I'm so sorry I didn't bring the whole
That's fine.
piece to me, but I can get the whole 100 hours for you. It's going to be these 4 virtual presentations, and they're outlined here, comprised of defining and understanding the 5 roles of instructional coaching, onboarding, partnering with school leadership, coaching successful dilemmas, and overall evaluation, reflective essay, presentation, and graduation. I know that this is also aligned to the teacher leader standards. There are teacher leader standards. The RCU has been providing this professional development for Coach U for quite some time, and they have proposed to us in the past or have asked about seeking endorsement for Coach U. But again, I wanted to get this vetted thoroughly through this body before making any recommendations for approval.
Dr. Burson, would it be possible for some of the RCU staff to meet with the Licensure Commission and talk more about Coach U?
Dr. J. thank you. I think that would be an excellent idea, and I know that they would be amenable to that.
I know
Dr. Burson,
Yes, sir.
what are the other 3 institutions that offer this 481 certification?
Mississippi State University, Delta State University, and William Carey University.
Thank you.
Any further questions? All right, this time, we'll entertain a motion for approval. A motion take under advisement. Please identify yourself for the record. Discussion?
And I will, as follow-up, I will contact the RCU, and we will coordinate with them and any subcommittee or full committee of this body that would like to meet for further
I think that's a great idea.
information.
Good suggestion, Dr. J. Rowe.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, so let me just, I'm trying to wrap my brain around it, okay? So we talked about the 3 versus 5 years. You stated, and I may have misunderstood, that there will be a stipend for this, or it could be.
We would hope. There
Yeah,
is nothing on the books right now that compensates master teacher, lead teacher, other than national board certification.
Right. This is not something where they could bypass a specialist degree or something along those lines. It's just would be an addition to.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
It's just a supplement to your existing
Gotcha.
AA licensure, and I do
Perfect.
like your recommendation of the 5 years. However, that will come from your body once you meet with the
Yes, ma'am.
RCU, and I will be more than happy to mediate that.
You want a subcommittee? All right, so while we're in here, do you want to do an ad hoc committee, or do we want to do a full committee?
That might be a good idea to do, I don't know, what do you think? Full commission or subcommittee?
I think the more people that you
Honestly, I
have,
like the idea of full.
Yeah,
'cause
I
the
do
more
too.
people you have to discuss
experiences,
issues,
especially
yeah.
since it's a newer thing.
Right, and got a lot of different perspectives
I
from,
would think the full committee.
I would appreciate that, and also as we think about, again, the recommendations that may be forthcoming around the licensure structure, I feel like this would be a very rich initial conversation for us, and that and we haven't, as you know, everything I bring to you is approval, so this is really the first time in 5 years I've asked for us to really dig into
Discuss,
something.
yeah.
So you can hopefully understand that this is important.
like it.
Good discussion,
I like
good one to have. All right, any
Right up
further
my alley.
discussion on that?
Do we need to make a recommendation for the full committee?
It was
We're good.
just for discussion, I think. He just needs to know. All right, anything
good.
else?
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Motion for approval.
Mm-hmm.
No motion.
We do all that? Okay.
Yeah.
Always
good.
get ahead
Get a
of
little
myself.
carried away with the script. I do too. All right, agenda item 13, approval for ratifications, agreed upon orders, and/or voluntary surrenders. Mr. Scott DeYoung. Appreciate, as always, the job they do with that, because those you know come in and serve, those can be some long days. So I know these make those a little quicker, so we appreciate the work y'all do on that.
Sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, members of the commission. My name is Scott DeYoung, and as I serve as the Director of the Office of Educator Misconduct Evaluations, and I only have one agreed order for you today, so I won't keep you long. In the matter of Mississippi Educator License Number 270122, Educator Carmen Vanderford, whereas on or about November 5th, 2021, the Office of Educator Misconduct of the Mississippi Department of Education received an Appendix C report submitted by the Alcorn School District that alleged the respondent, Carmen Vanderford, violated Standard 4 of the Mississippi Educator Code of Ethics and Standards of Conduct, resulting in a termination of employment. And whereas the respondent, Carmen Vanderford, has consented to enter an agreed order suspending the respondent's license without the necessity of a disciplinary hearing before the commission. It is therefore stipulated as follows. The respondent admits that during the 2021-2022 school year, while employed as an educator with the Alcorn School District, the respondent violated Standard 4 of the Mississippi Educator Code of Ethics and Standards of Conduct as alleged and described by said district in the aforementioned Appendix C. And such action constitutes grounds for suspension, revocation of a teacher or administrator license pursuant to Mississippi Code annotated 373212F. That upon execution of this agreed order, the respondent's educator license number 270122 to teach in the state of Mississippi and all privileges belonging to said license shall immediately be suspended for a period of 2 calendar years from the date of ratification by the Commission of Teacher and Administrator Education, Certification, and Licensure and Development. It is further agreed the respondent shall, at his own expense, complete a seminar or coursework related to ethical teacher-student relationships from an accredited university or other reputable source satisfactory to the Commission prior to the conclusion of the suspension period stated prior. The respondent shall submit proof of attendance and successful completion of the required courses of study to the Office of Educator Misconduct prior to or contemporaneous with his petition for reinstatement. The respondent may submit an application or petition for reinstatement at the conclusion of the suspension period. Such reinstatement petition shall be in accordance with Mississippi Code annotated 373214A and the rules of procedure governing disciplinary proceedings of the commission, with the necessity of a hearing either before the commission, subcommittee thereof, or a hearing officer. The educator's license may only be reinstated upon the respondent's satisfactory showing of evidence of rehabilitation as determined either by a majority of all members of the commission present at the meeting called for that purpose, or upon the discretion of the hearing officer. Again, that's the only agreed order we have for your consideration today. The Office of Educator Misconduct requests that you consider this for ratification.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate what y'all do. Any questions? All right. So if we don't have the one, we'll entertain a motion for approval or motion to take under advisement. Please identify yourself for the record.
Motion to approve, Cam
Make a
Hubbard.
motion to approve William Hamilton.
All right.
Second.
Need a second? Ms. Hubbard, thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Moore.
All right, moving on to item number 14. If we don't have anything else to add, we have our adjournment. Any discussion for the record on adjournment? Always an easy one to get past. Need a motion for approval?
Motion to approve.
Approval, thank you. Need a second?
Second, Cam Hubbard.
Hubbard, thank you. All those in favor, please vote aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We appreciate everybody's service. Thank you for your time today. We are adjourned.